welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week of December the 6th through December the 12th. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to select a sacred geometry frequency card, and we will read it at the end of the reading for Virgo. We'll save that for the end, and let's jump into the Lightworker Oracle to see what messages and guiding messages, major themes we have for Virgo as they move through their week. And been seeing a lot of interesting messages for all the signs. Let's see what we have for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising as they move through their week. Ooh, one card on the ground. Lots flipping over. Excellent. I love it. Okay, let's grab the one on the floor. Okay, for Virgo, let's look at your messages here. Okay, so we see it's what's on the bottom of the deck. Initiation by water. So it could be a very emotional transformation here. I'm feeling all of these readings are speaking to the transformations occurring all around us. The energies are so transformative. That solar eclipse, I feel, is that we just went through on December the 4th, is really closing out chapters that are no longer part of the journey. They are finished. You may be feeling that on an emotional level here, Virgo. You yourself are transforming. We see the alchemical mutation card. We see the spiritual decree card, which is a time where you're ready to speak your truth. You are changed, you are evolving, you are growing, you are stepping into your authentic self and communicating yourself. You are speaking your truth, and it is your divine destiny to do so, whatever that truth may be for you. The other cards you received here are the divine grace of law inefficiency and the sixth ray of devotion. Okay, so the sixth ray of devotion is really a time where the message here for you to take away is this idea of really connecting to the self. Okay, really connecting to the authentic self. And I often see these two cards together because when we connect to the authentic self, the next step is sort of to speak that truth that you have realized. And so the truth that you realize through the sixth ray of devotion is expressed here in the spiritual decree. And the energy of the law of efficiency suggests that all the obstacles around you are going to be removed. That because this is a time that is like, it's divine destiny. So you're going to be supported, and there will be obstacles removed so that things move with divine grace, right? The ease and grace and the feeling that things are happening in a way that is efficient and that is not causing further obstacles to sort of be realized. The other sort of messaging you can take from this card is the idea that any struggles that you do encounter, surrender to them. Embrace them. Don't perceive them as challenges, but rather opportunities for further growth. And so, but this card really does suggest that things are going to become easier because you're starting to move towards your truth, right? When we see this alchemical mutation, which is the card that precedes this divine grace. This is card 31 and card 32 in a very well shuffled deck that I've been using all day to do readings. So when we see, first of all, the two cards back to back, that really says to me, pay attention to these messages. And the idea in this card is that your mind is starting to really develop in a different way. Spiritual growth is affecting your mind, body, and soul when you see this card. And it's a very real time of sort of fulfilling all aspects of your divine destiny by attracting new energies. And it's a time of tremendous joy and satisfaction. And when I see it with the card of divine grace, that says to me that things are they're going to start to be less dense. Things are starting to move more with ease and grace. And it's because you're stepping into this initiation by water is sort of the idea that you are moving through the pathway of understanding spirit through the emotions. Okay, you are receiving sort of messages to free yourself of lower vibrational emotions like fear, like shame, like guilt, and to adopt more high vibrations like love and grace and compassion. And so this is a time where you're really being triggered emotionally to challenge your opinions and beliefs that you may not feel like you're in control over. But your emotions are pretty much the only thing we do have control over, right? Like our reactions and our responses to things. And fear tends to be the response that can be triggered in times of chaos. And so this is really a card to say to you, you are being initiated by the emotional triggers. So this will pass. This storm will pass, and your emotions they shall become serene again. Now, I just want to make note that the card underneath that card is the Dark Angel, which is card 30. So that means you have card 30, 31, and 32, which is really interesting because, like I'm telling you, I've been using this deck all day. And I'm going to take that Dark Angel card for you because I feel like it could be relevant in your pursuit of truth, because this card comes to you with radical truth. And it's really a time where, you are being held in love, in divine love. And there could be things that seem like hidden blessings, almost dark mysteries around you. But there is like this message here with this card that if a door is closed in your face, it is not the door for you. So Virgo, if you are starting to see some challenges come up, take that as a sign that that is not for you. You are on the path of ease and grace. And there are emotional challenges here that will pass. But anything that comes up that is like absent of love, and you will keep getting redirected away from it, it is up to you to respond in a way as to whether or not you're going to choose doubt and fear or trust and faith. There is a trust that exists between you and the universe that is powerful enough to release you from any separation. However, it's almost like you have to choose that. You have to choose that to say, I am in alignment with what serves me. I am not in separation from it. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost like this energy makes you question that just as you're about to change, just as your mind, body, and spirit are about to change. And so I think it's really interesting that you got all three of these cards. You got all three of them. You got 30, 31, and 32. And so really, this is a process that you're walking. Here, I'll hold them up. They're big cards. This is a process you're walking, Virgo, and it's going to start dark and end light. It's such a beautiful message. We're going to keep that Dark Angel card out because I feel like it's really relevant to your path right now. And it is leading you down an initiation through the emotions to see, will you be triggered by your fear, or will you surrender to any obstacles that come your way, trusting that you'll know what's for you and what's not. Does that make sense? It's really interesting. It's like you're walking the path from start to finish, starting with this sort of hidden blessing disguised, as something coming to show you how to encounter your own darkness. It's almost like you're doing the shadow work so that you can evolve and see your spiritual, I'm just lining the cards up. This is like the dark night of the soul, this Dark Angel. And it's almost like this Dark Angel is coming to trigger your emotions so that you can evolve mind, body, and spirit to finally free yourself, right? And to see this light that is also reflected in this card, the Sixth Ray of Devotion, where you start to understand. You start to really understand the path that you just walked, to arrive finally here where you're able to speak your truth in that spiritual decree card. This is really this idea in this card. The idea here is really a time where you are bestowed with the idea of persistence, focus. You have Archangel Uriel here helping you conquer any obstacle. conquering any obstacle, because that's the path you're on, is the path you're meant to be on. You are walking towards this authentic expression of your truth, and it's your spiritual decree. This is what you came to share. So it's a really beautiful message right from the offset here for Virgo. Really, really beautiful messages about, aligning with the authentic self and the journey you're going to take, or could take if you choose it, to get there. So let's jump into the tarot cards here for Virgo to see what other messages we have as they go through their week. For Virgo, what is the presenting situation right now for Virgo? How is it coming up for Virgo? How is all of this coming up? Ooh, for Virgo. That knocked the other card right out of its place. That's funny, with two cards. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles and Six of Wands. So Virgo is at a place where they are... and the Six of Pentacles just wanted to come out, I guess, so we'll take it. It's two sixes. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles. You are starting a new leg of your journey. You are starting at square one here, because it's time to go through this initiation. This process that you're going through is beginning now, and it's creating not only a new process for your body, mind, and soul, but it's also creating a new sense of security, a new sense of identity. It could be a very new life for you, Virgo. You are starting something brand new here. And it's interesting, the Six of Wands came out as I was shuffling, then the Six of Pentacles came off the top of the deck as my hand moved over it. So I'm going to take it, because to me, these are both cards of balancing your choices, okay? Balancing your choices with respect to what's happening around you. In the Six of Wands, we're balancing the concept here of receiving recognition from the external world and what that does to you, Virgo. Do you change because people are applauding for you? Once you're recognized, will that change your intention? Right? How will this impact you as a person with an ego here on planet Earth, as a human being, when you receive a high amount of external validation, when you start to receive acknowledgement and recognition from those around you in the public world, in the external world? What will that do? Will that change your intention, or will you maintain your spiritual decree to share your wisdom irrespective of the response you receive in the public realm? This is interesting. It's been coming up. It came up earlier today for the solar eclipse reading as a sort of a warning to sort of not allow external reinforcement to become the be all and end all, right? That the point is to share the wisdom, not to be overly concerned with how popular you become as a result, right? Now, the Six of Pentacles, which sort of flew out as my hand passed, I think is coming out here to say you can choose, right? Just as all the other cards here said, it's all about how you choose to integrate this information. You'll be able to choose where you share and where you don't share. And I think it's really interesting that you have the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles, because to me that says your new path is going to be successful. You are going to receive a lot of public recognition for it, and it's going to be up to you to keep that in balance, to keep it in check, which is why I think the Six of Pentacles kind of flew out of the deck as my hand passed, because it's sort of like a double-edged sword, right? Like you're starting a new path that's going to be relevant to the external world. So with that relevance comes recognition and acknowledgement for what you're sharing. So is it going to impact you on the ego level, or are you going to keep things balanced with the Six of Pentacles to choose how you internalize some of the feedback you're getting, right? Are you going to keep things balanced, or is it going to be all ego and that's it, right? Like, always remember that, there's this beautiful saying now where did I read this? That it's only partially you. When we have spiritual service as part of our life path, it's important not to sort of develop that spiritual ego that says, I am the source of this. And it's sort of like, we're all part of that source. Your expression is offering a unique perspective on the truth that is relevant to others. But to not develop that spiritual ego that allows you to sort of be in separation, which isn't the point. The point is to stay connected, to not separate and say, I'm here and you're here, but to be like, we're all here together. We just have to sort of find our own way to get to that high vibe, right? And that initiation by water, I think, is sort of taking you from the dark to the light to show you that spectrum so that you yourself know that, you know, that developing the spiritual ego is just, it becomes an obstacle. It just becomes an impediment, right? Now, what is top of mind for Virgo as they go through this? Top of mind is the 10 of Wands. So top of mind for you is this idea that you're ready to close out a cycle. You're overburdened. You feel like you've been sort of doing too much to keep this moving, and it's time to free yourself. I think you're starting to feel like the path you're on, as you can see in this card, it's just not, it's not for you anymore. This path, there's nothing wrong with this path, but you're done. You've reached your end of this cycle and you're ready to walk a new path, which is why you see that Ace of Pentacles. You could feel overwhelmed, overburdened, overused, over everything. You're just over it. You're done. It's time to let go of this because something else is coming up, and you're sort of at that time where you're assessing the walking away from this path. Now, what is driving all of this for Virgo? What is initiating all of this? We saw the initiation by water. So what is this? Oh, initiation by water. As I say that, we see the 10 of Cups. So this is being fueled. Again, it's a 10. So we're reaching the end of a cycle here, but it's a time where you feel content, right? I feel like you're entering into the next phase of this emotional growth, and we know you're being initiated by water, and so I feel like you're gonna realize some emotional obstacles here when this starts. I feel like you're going to sort of end one emotional dimension and begin a new emotional dimension. It's not to say that you're not going to be happy, right? I'm not suggesting that. It's almost like your definition of what makes you happy is going to evolve. It's going to shift. It's going to change. And that's what's driving this, is that you've reached sort of a ceiling of completion here, and you're content and you feel whole and you feel joy, and that joy feels like it's on an inner level. So I feel like that's not going to go away, but I feel like the circumstances around you are going to start to trigger your emotions again, which is why the 10 of Cups is driving your reading. It's a time where you're content, but it's also the end of a cycle. And I feel like you're going to go deeper. You're going to go deeper into those emotions now. Interesting. Ooh. Hang on, let me get a grip here. Now, what is the inner dialogue here for Virgo? What is that inner dialogue saying right now? Do we see any limiting beliefs? What's going on the inner dialogue level? We see the Four of Pentacles. Oops. So the Four of Pentacles is a time where you may be feeling that separation I was speaking of earlier, where you're sort of hanging on to what you have, and you're sort of finding that if you were to share or let go, you're wondering if it will come back to you. This is sort of an energy where you don't trust. And so it's like a part of your inner dialogue, perhaps the part that's being triggered, is starting to feel like, no. I have to hang on to anything that I have because it might not ever come back. I might lose it forever. And it's almost like it's teaching you a lesson here of letting go and trusting, right? Like, what's the best way to start trusting in the power of manifestation, but to let go and see it happen right in front of your eyes, right? That's sort of the strongest teacher we can hope for, is one where it happens right in front of our eyes. And so I think that's really interesting. This is turning into a long reading for you, Virgo. Let's see what else is going on here for Virgo. What is moving Virgo forward towards this alchemical mutation? What is moving them forward? It's healing. Six of Swords. You're getting distance from some stuff that was limiting you. And as a result, you're starting to attract things that are more in alignment with your authenticity. The only thing I think you need to sort of heal, we've got 3 sixes here, bear in mind, 6 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. So it's like you've passed the point of understanding the truth, and now you're starting to see how it's going to impact you. And this Four of Pentacles, this to me is saying that that's a wound for you to keep your eye on, is this idea of scarcity, this idea of lack. That could be something that needs healing, and that could be what's coming up to sort of in this Six of Swords, that this idea that you need to walk away from that kind of mental perception because it won't serve you moving forward. And it could be the last thing holding you back is that lack mentality. And so you need to sort of step away from that in order to enter into this divine grace, right? The law of efficiency. Now, the bottom of the deck, just having a look here, we see the Page of Pentacles. So along with the Ace, we see the Page. So I really feel like this new energy is coming in to change your life. Not to put it lightly, Virgo, but wow. This is really life-changing. This reading makes me feel like we are not going to be dealing with the same Virgo soon. This Virgo is changing. This Virgo is moving into a brand new sort of space. Now, to close your reading, what was the frequency you received? You received the Divine Masculine card, number 22. The frequency of Divine Masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. Very interesting. This is fascinating because the initiation by water, the water is the water is a feminine energy, right? Feminine energy through the water. And then you have the masculine energy as well, which is really, really interesting. So, you know, it's like you are really understanding things through emotion. And then that divine masculine energy is coming in to support your action so that you're not just sitting in emotion, but that there is this energy coming in to help you express yourself and put ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. Really, really interesting, Virgo. I'm going to leave it at that. If this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, you can find my email in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends.